welcome to the Twilight Imperium RPG, featuring myself as GM. I'm Ian Zhang. I do a lot of random game stuff, and I just like Twilight Imperium a lot, and I like role-playing games, and I like streaming, and so I threw this thing together and brought some cool people to hang out with me. Dane Beltrami is the lead developer of Twilight Imperium, and he's going to join us on our little jaunt into the realm of Twilight Imperium. And we also have Wong Loon, who is also a prolific writer of Twilight Imperium lore now. So welcome to both of you. This is gonna be, I'm really excited. I've played through this at least once, and I just love the setting that this is coming in. So Dane, do you want to give a quick introduction of yourself, anything else that I didn't mention, and who you're playing today?
No, you pretty much hit it for me. I'm the developer for TI4 and Prophecy of Kings. I've been a game designer for about 6 years now, and I will be playing the Kelleris investigator Carrick Aun-Charik. I'm a Shikrai who is sent to kind of guide the fledgling Kelleris organization, in the wake of the Mahak threat.
And Calvin, how about yourself?
Hello, my name is Calvin. I write quite a lot, as Dane alluded to. Recently, I've been writing for Twilight Imperium, both the board game and the RPG in some capacity or another, but mostly lore and stories, which are my favorite thing to do. I've also written for a bunch of other games that you might have heard of, written and done like rules editing, cultural consultation, things like that. Recently, I did Summoner Wars 2nd edition, Restoration Games, Battle of Legends Volume 2, Project Nisei's Netrunner. So I've been involved in a bunch of pretty cool stuff, which I'm really grateful for. I'm going to be playing today a human by the name of Major Jana Pradhan. I think it's Pradhan, yeah, Jana Pradhan. And she's an orbital drop soldier who's been reassigned to the Kelleris after her unit suffered a humiliating defeat in which their battle standard was captured. And as punishment, the Soul, and also because she's not exactly uncritical of the Soul government, she's like, why are you doing all of this expanding and imperialism? Not a fan. So she's been, as punishment for her views and her failure as a leader, she has been reassigned to the Kelleris of the galaxy. Ian, why don't you tell us what the Kelleris are?
So I actually have a whole little thing, a little PowerPoint, because I came overly prepared today. So we're going to jump right into that right now. So the PowerPoint here it's here. I'm going to go through a couple things because some of the people watching this might not know what Twilight Imperium is, or they might not know what the setting is, because Twilight Imperium is a very conflict-heavy game, but this is more of like the different powers coming together and actually working together for once. And so we get to see the different species of peoples in the galaxy actually work together on an individual level, and explore some unforeseen worlds that have been recently refound, and I'll get to that in a second. So we're playing through the Ashes of Power, which is a prequel to the big RPG setting that Edge Studios is putting together. They released this for free Comic Book Day in 2021. That's right, it was last year. There we go. Today is 2022, but it was released last year, 2021. And so you can find it online. They have it on their website, and you can go download this and play it. You will need a dice rolling app, but we'll get to that in a little bit, and I'll show everything else out. So Twilight Imperium has a vast galaxy, and it's filled with a multitude of spacefaring species and fantastic technologies. Most of the great civilizations have recently dispatched representatives to the restored Galactic Council on the throne world of Mechatol Rex. After millennia of destructive war and decline, the galaxy once again needs a way to debate affairs and broker agreements, but few of its members mistake this moment as a true peace. Intrigue and scheming have merely found a more refined venue, and disaster's always one galactic incident away. The other key institution is the Caleres of the Galactic Council. They are an agency only recently founded by the Council to deal with emerging threats to galactic civilization. It is tenuously supported by members of the Council, running on a shoestring budget. A budget upon which you, the new agents of the Caleres, must utilize to the best of your ability. And Twilight Imperium, and the history. So, once the glory that was the Lazax Empire united the galaxy under its rule after defeating all of its rivals, even the dreaded Mahakt kings, banished to another galaxy. With notions of benevolence and hopes of diffusing rebellion, the Lazax convened a galactic council to give the most powerful of their subjects a voice in politics. The Lazax seated this council on their glittering throne world of Mechatol Rex. This peace lasted almost 20,000 years, the galaxy prospering throughout. But such awesome power bred both arrogance and the resentment of it. Eventually, revolts by several council power flared into a series of wars. In their complacency, the Lazax were betrayed and Mechatol Rex burned in violent bombardment. Both Empire and the Lazax species itself were destroyed. The Twilight Wars ensued as the great galactic powers tore the galaxy apart. But that was millennia ago. Wherever you come from, the story of that time is well known. Your ancestors were part of it, but now you are part of a new era, one of wary rebuilding. The civilizations exhausted by the wars have slowly emerged from isolation to explore and trade once again. A recently restored Galactic Council sits amid the ruins of Mechatol City. There is relative peace, formal diplomacy, and even reluctant cooperation between factions, none of whom have forgotten their ancient rivalries and grievances. The galaxy stands poised on the edge of brighter days, or perhaps a plunge into deepest night. As an individual, you have been shaped by all of these forces, but now as a Caleres agent, you can make your own choices. How will you survive among the stars, and whose agenda will you truly serve? So that's the story. That's the story. Caleres are a small group of council-appointed special agents. Basically, James Bond in space. But if James Bond also had a bunch of alien friends. That's the core idea. So, both Dane and Calvin are playing two of the Caleres agents, and they will be attempting to go on missions together and solve things. So below me, you can actually see some story points. Throughout the game, we will be using these to upgrade or make things more difficult. Upgrade our own dice or make things more difficult for the other team. And you can also use story points in this system as kind of a deus ex machina. So if you want to do something that you didn't plan for originally, and you can just say like, oh yeah, we totally had that extra ration, you can use a story point to do so. So there's ways that you can use these in a variety of methods, but generally what we will be using them for is upgrading dice. And so the dice system, we're going to come over here and I'm going to explain this really quick. The dice system is the Genesis dice system, which is custom dice that represent various things. And so we have 6 different dice. We have boost dice, which are blue, setback dice, which are black, generic ability dice, which are green, the threat dice, which are purple, and they directly counteract green, red, which are upgraded versions of the purples, and yellow, which are upgraded versions of the green. And these are all symbols here that counteract each other. This one, let's see if I can re-roll this into something that's more helpful here. Nope, that's not going to happen ever, is it?
Yeah, that's
there we go,
here.
got it. Okay, so this is a success symbol, what you're seeing here. This means that you did something good, and it worked. Whenever you make a roll of the dice, if at least one of these is left, you have succeeded. And the more of those that you have, you can succeed even harder. These X's directly cancel out every success. So you can see well, in this situation, it's not really doing its thing. But so if this were the roll, if we had just this yellow and purple, then there is no success, because the success cancels out with the failure, and that's the end of it. Up here, up here are what's called threat. Threats are bad things that can happen that might cause strain to your character, or might cause bad things to happen. I might be tracking those behind the scenes because once you hit a certain threshold, something really bad will happen. And they are directly canceled out by advantages. Advantages can be used by players to do various things in battle, and Calvin and Dane will be using them as we go. So generally, when we make a dice pool, every character has abilities, kind of like in D&D, that set the number of green dice that they'll be rolling. And some abilities further let you even upgrade those further into yellow dice. And you won't need to really know very much as you're watching, but just know that we will be creating dice pools, and the more green and yellow that are there, that means that Dane or Calvin are doing really good, and they're very good at whatever they're doing. So that's the key idea. And the purple dice are the difficulty. So I'll be adding a number of purple dice into the pool based on how difficult I think the task is. So if they're just trying to pick a little mini lock, it's going to probably be 1 purple. If they're trying to break into Fort Knox, it's probably going to be 4 purple dice, and I might even make them spend a story point to even allow them to attempt to do that. These blue and black dice are just little environmental hazards or boons that you can add, and Dane and Calvin will be trying to get as much out of me as they can. So if they're trying to pick a lock, they can say, oh, well, while Dane is picking the lock, I'm going to stand guard to provide him the safety. Can he get a boost dice? Yes, you can get a boost dice. So you have to convince me that you should be able to get a boost dice. And I'll be adding setback dice based on other environmental factors, such as, wow, it's really dark, and you're trying to pick a lock in the dark. Well, you have a setback die because it's dark, and you don't have dark vision. So so that's generally how the dice will be working. I will be having this little app open, and it's a free app on the App Store. You can find it. It's just Genesis. You'll just search for Genesis and you'll find it. Dane and Calvin also have it open for them because we'll be rolling initiative, and I'll explain that once we get to that point. And I think we're all set to go. Do you both have any questions?
I do not.
Excellent.
No, I do not have currently any questions.
Okay. All right. So you both are at Makatal Rex right now. You are currently sitting in a meeting room, awaiting something. You were just sent here by the receptionist and just told to wait until the lore master shows up. And you don't know what that word means, and you've just been sent here from your worlds, wherever you just came from, and you can introduce yourselves to each other.
Am I previously acquainted with Major Pradhan?
I do not believe either of you are acquainted.
And I will certainly introduce myself.
So where are we again? We're in a meeting room?
Yes, you are in a meeting room. It has a
Okay.
fairly large table.
Okay.
It seems like a generic conference room, though, and
Okay.
it's not exactly super well stocked.
Okay. I was here first. I was here very early. I am attempting to glean as much information I can from my contacts, so I'm like reading stuff on my what are the pads called in the universe? They're called savants, right?
Savant, yeah.
Yeah. So pads in this universe, like little personal computers, are called savants. So like I've been sitting here for like 45 minutes reading my savant, trying to get whatever I can about this mission, which we know nothing about. When
you know nothing.
Yeah, I know we know nothing, but I've been trying to pre-know something because that's just who I am.
Okay, so you've been doing some research. I will remember that.
Okay. And then when Karik comes in, I put down the pad and I stand up. Pad? Savant. I put on the Savant as that. Okay.
Major Pradhan. I'll bow. Carrick will bow to Jenna.
I will also sort of awkwardly bow because I have assumed that this is an Argent flight thing. And I was like, Carrick on Charik?
Yes.
Did I say that right? I said that right?
Close enough.
Sorry, it's important. I'm sorry, it's important to me, but that's the best I could do with the. Never mind. I'm Major Pradhan, as you intuited. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I assume that you and I that I hope you have some information about what we're doing here, because I don't.
Carrick kind of holds his breath and looks a little awkward. I'm afraid not. And kind of just leans against the wall in silence.
Okay.
And
Awkwardly.
as if the awkward conversation could be read, the door opens and a Winnerin walks in. And the Winnerin looks something like this. You would all instantly recognize them as the custodians of Mechatol Rex. And this individual is fairly taller than most Winnerin you have seen, and much thinner as well. And he walks over to the table with his little data pad and says, "Attend, Caleris. I have much to elucidate in little time." He does not even introduce you. He doesn't say anything else. It's just he walks in and he presses a button and a giant screen pops up with an image that looks something like this. The Winnerin continues. "This is the world Herul's Truce." And the projector displays this image of the planet. There's a blaringly bright side and a side completely in darkness. Contact with it was re-established by the galactic community scant years ago. A Caleris informant recently reported the probable discovery there of an unknown Imperial-era technology. They also mentioned the presence of unsanctioned L1Z1X agents with an intense interest in this world. This was the source's final report. I am aware that you are newly sworn Caleris, but you are being sent to this world as an advanced team to learn what you can. We are sending only the two of you so that we can avoid detection. We are concerned that too many will draw unwanted attention. And he pauses.
And also you don't have the budget. And also you don't have the budget to send more.
That, while true, does not change the fact that a small contingent is needed. He is unsmiling, as if maybe not unhappy with the joke, but completely brushed it off.
Can't tell whether Carrick is smiling or not.
So you can feel free to ask any questions if you want to.
Did Carrick smile? That's what I want to know.
Oh,
you can't tell.
You can't tell.
It's a beak. It's kind of hard.
And what will you be sending us with exactly?
I have commandeered a vessel. You will find it in the berth B12 in the hangar.
And munitions, weapons, like what do we got here? I guess is what I'm asking.
You have what you have. We have provisioned the ship with some rudimentary weapons, but again, as you are well aware and have pointed out, the budget has not come through, and we do not have the funds for superior firepower.
Carrick sighs deeply, nods.
And then I addressed the Windarian. That's all right. We will make do. We always have. And I'm sure that Mr. Oncharik, Carrick Oncharik will. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll be great. We'll be great.
We'll be fine.
Do you have any questions for me, or do you wish to continue to your ship?
Objective? I mean, we're going there to do something, but the something was not specified.
Your mission is to determine if L1Z1X actions are being taken on this planet, and if you can, find our informant or what happened to our informant on the planet.
Okay, got it.
Is there anything further that we should expect? How many people live here? What kind of operations does the council have on Hurl's Truce?
Hurl's Truce is an obscure, distant sun, meaning it's an unexplored or poorly charted. It's in a wild region called the Mahakt Plateau. It has a small mixed species population, all centered in a narrow, habitable band between its day and night sides. It's tidally locked. It was effectively lost for millennia, following the destruction of Makatel Rex's legendary Hall of Cartography during the Twilight Wars. Unfortunately, it has just recently been reconnected to our network.
And we've received no contact from Hurl's Truce since the last correspondence with the informant?
Correct. Once after the last message from the informant, we have nothing.
And if this turns out to be a large-scale military operation by the L1Z1X, what is it that you would like us to do, precisely?
You must send a message directly to me, Lord Master Pylonis, and I will make sure that further reinforcements will arrive soon.
Very well.
I don't like the definition of soon, usually provided to us by the council. But what are rules of engagement with regards to L1Z1X units? Is it fired upon?
If possible, contain. But I trust you to use your best judgment. We cannot afford to lose you. So if violence is necessary, violence is necessary.
Okay, cannot afford to lose us, but cannot afford to arm us or provide it. Yeah, got it. I'm sorry,
the Lord Master.
My frustrations with the council.
Keeping a very straight face, but you can tell he is slightly miffed.
Lord Master, my apologies. I've just spent a very long time trying to ascertain anything we can about this mission, and it's just frustrating. It is not your fault that we do not have additional money, resources, or in fact anything. And Carrick and I will do our best.
I nod slightly.
Very well. Do you have any further questions about your mission?
Nope. Birth B12. Let's go.
Very well. Again, you have comm beads. Use them if you need to contact the council. I will be available if needed. And he turns around, walks out the door, and disappears down a hallway.
Well, shall we?
Yeah, well. Yeah, I can't remember. Do you eat human food? Can you eat human food? I have a sandwich. I saved from earlier.
I've eaten already. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
right.
Major Prudon.
I'll just hold on to this in case we get hungry in the ship. Okay, B12, like the vitamin. Let's go.
So as you're walking towards the hangar, a little message pops up on your personal computer, and it shows a Soul Overture class cutter ship that is meant to be for you, that was sent from the Lore Master. And you can kind of check out the specs for that.
Okay, I know how to use one of these.
Carrick is immediately curious what it's armed with.
Yeah, I push the holographic spec thing closer towards him.
It has it. Well, let's see if you can read the actual schematics. So, do you have any skills that might allow you to understand schematics?
Certainly not.
So you can probably do like computers. So intellect would be the thing that you might want to do. So what is your intellect score?
2.
Dane.
Same.
Yeah, 2.
Oh, 2? Okay, so you're going to get 2 greens. And this is a fairly simple schematic, so we'll just do a little demonstration here. So this is a basic skill check. Dane has 2 intellect, so he gets 2 green dice. And the difficulty of reading the schematic is 1. So we're just going to roll and see what he gets. So he actually does not understand at all. So that means that he has failed. The axe left is like he looks at the schematic and says, "Wow, I understand some of those words." And I can let you know that the advantages will allow you to, at least know how to move around on it to make it look like you know what you're doing, but you don't understand anything.
Carrick looks a bit sheepishly at Jaina. Yeah, soul vessels, never really got used to them. His feathers look a bit ruffled. Look a bit ruffled.
Okay. So the assumption here is that Jaina is deeply familiar with this type of vessel.
Correct.
Right. So can I just tell him what it's got?
Yes. So it is a Soul class cutter, and so you, being from Soul and being an orbital drop trooper, you probably have ridden on one of these before. So you know exactly.
No, definitely, definitely. Yeah. So what can we have this? Do you have the stats? Is it in the book?
I do not have the stats, but I can tell you that it has 2 small laser cannons that are basic defensive, almost oh, there's an asteroid coming into our path. Let's blast it out of the sky.
Yeah.
Not gonna really they're purely defensive weapons meant for small things.
Yeah, these aren't close air support vessels. I'm explaining to Carrick. It's just a get in, get out. Very standard, if we don't have a dropship, this is what we ride on. This is for quick insertion. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Don't worry about it.
Looks noticeably disappointed.
Yeah, if we get into a dogfight, I'm pretty sure I could get us out of most trouble, unless we're severely outclassed. If there's a necro fighter on our tail, I don't envy our chances, but I'm sure this will get us onto the planet just fine.
Very well, Major John.
So you make your way down towards the hangar, and you enter into this wide branching room. There's a long hallway that goes all the way down, almost half a kilometer, and along that hallway there's just little entries to the ships, and the berths are kind of labeled, and you can see that in front of every berth there's a little computer terminal, and you can see that the first one has A1 on it. And and you can see that the hangar also has multiple levels. It goes up approximately 5 or 6. It's just straight up.
Okay, have you been here before? Because I haven't been here before.
Carrick shakes his head.
Okay.
Pylonus said 12, correct?
12.
Well,
does it go that far? I thought touching the pad, does it go up that far?
So when you touch one of the pads, it pops up a little menu. And so do you have do you have computers, Calvin?
Do I have computers?
Like the computer's skill.
Yeah. I really hope neither of us has to hack anything this game.
Same.
But I do have it. But I do have intellect 2. It's not that bad. So
Okay.
let's give it a shot.
So Calvin does a quick
My-
roll.
And I say out loud, my turn to embarrass myself in front of you.
And so we're just going to do this really quick. And so if you get no successes, which is what this is just 2 advantages. It's technically a failure. But with those 2 advantages, I'll say that like the layout is pretty simple and straightforward. And you can tell that it brings up a kind of a map of the whole area. And through common sense, you're able to like navigate and say like, oh, there's 15 berths per level. And each level is labeled by A, B, C, D, E, going straight up.
Okay. So I figure it out. I call the elevator, and then we stand there awkwardly. So, is this your first ride with this outfit?
It is.
Yeah, mine too. It's I was not what I was expecting. The Kelleres of the Council. Definitely not.
No, it is quite different. I actually feel like they aren't taking this seriously enough. He looks very perturbed.
Geez, I've seen vids of like Argent Strike groups. This is no. This is not even close to what we get in a soul outfit.
This isn't what I'm used to say the least.
Yeah, but we'll make do. We always make do.
So as
go
ahead.
No, go on.
So were you in the elevator?
We're waiting for it.
Okay, so
No,
the elevator opens. It takes you up another level, and it pops you out right at B1, the berth B1, and you can see that the hallway goes all the way straight down, and continue.
Are these are all of these berths just filled with ships?
Some of them are, but I would say about 75% of them are, and then you have empty berths as well that are just without anything.
Is this all Kelleres ships, or is this?
No, this is just a generic hangar for anyone who's coming to the council chambers.
Gotcha. Awesome.
So as you're walking down the hallway, you both need to make a perception check. And so you both are going to do an easy perception check, which means you need 1 purple and then whatever your perception score is.
Doing that on
your own, because I just need to know what it is.
What's my perception? I don't have perception. Brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, presence.
I think it's. Is it cunning?
I should know this off. Do you have it, Dane?
Yeah, perception is cunning.
Okay, cunning. There we go.
Okay. So because I have 2 cunning, I put 2
greens.
Green dice,
and then 1 purple.
Perfect.
Not great.
Uh-oh.
One failure, 2 advantage.
Oh boy.
I got 3 success, 1 advantage, 1 failure. So 2 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, so I just need that's good. So Jaina, while you're talking and walking, is actually paying attention to what's going on, and notices that outside of the B12, the berth that you're supposed to go to, there's a couple people hanging out nearby it, like lookouts, and you're instantly suspicious.
Do they look like Kelleres? I guess maybe I shouldn't be asking this.
Jaina would see that these are they're dressed as kind of scruffy. They have face masks on. You can't really tell their features all that much. You can't even tell what species they are. But it looks like they are armed.
Interesting. Well, I don't see it, so I'm gonna keep going.
Doop, doop.
Okay. Okay, I need a quick break, and I will take a quick break now, and I'll be back in a few minutes, and then we will deal with whatever this is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Be right back.